Hello and welcome to The Best Of. On The Best Of, we focus on the best in the areas of business, entertainment, sports, and the community. And today we have a very special guest, and we're going to be really talking and drilling down and talking about business. So for those of you who are interested in starting a business, and even more so for the ones of you who have started a business, because this gentleman works with businesses that have already been stood up and they are running and operating. He really helps you to be more effective, efficient, and he is none other than Mr. Steve Pitcairn. Welcome to the show, Mr. Pitcairn.
Thank you, Ricky. Good afternoon. This is wonderful here.
Absolutely. So we are ecstatic about having you on the show. You know, we've tried, and you know, some people are just in really high demand. So we're glad that we finally got you here. So welcome.
Well, thank you.
Yes, indeed. Well, we're going to go ahead and start because you and I have, we've got some history, so we could talk about some things for a while, but let's go ahead so that we can share some of this valuable information with the people in our viewing audience. And so if you could just tell us a little bit, maybe give some background about yourself.
Sure. Grew up high school, college in Arkansas. Yes, I'm a Razorback fan from way back when. And after that, I went to work in retail, and I worked for Federated Department Stores for over 20 years before retiring about 7 years. Actually, it's 7 years ago this week. And at that point in time, I decided to open a business, which was a business coaching franchise. And never regret it. I've had the time of my life. The 7 years have been so enjoyable, helping different types of businesses and different industries.
Wow. Well, I think I need to ID you because you said that you retired 7 years ago. I think the math may not be right there, so you must have started working very early in your life.
Well, I had 26 years of retail, wow, and I loved it. It was just the nights and the weekends just kind of wear you down after a period of time. Not that being a small business owner doesn't have its nights and weekends, but it's different when you're doing it for yourself versus for a client.
Absolutely. Well, I will tell you that we have been on the air for quite some time, and I've been real selfish because I've been keeping you to myself. You've helped me a tremendous amount over the years. You've gone on, and once you've gotten the opportunity to meet my wife and knowing that we're in business together, you've continued to push. So as the saying goes, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I have been ready, and you have shown up, and you've shown up over and over again. But I'd like to share with people how we did meet.
Great.
Absolutely. Well, you know, we met through the E200 program, and I mean, my life hasn't been the same since then with the program and with you in particular. So tell us a bit about that.
Well, the E200 program is now called the Emerging Leaders Program, and it's an initiative with the SBA, and it's in its actually its 6th year nationwide. This year it is in 28 cities, and actually we're coming up on graduation in a couple weeks once the government shutdown ends. But we're excited. This will be we'll have our 76th through 90th student graduate just in Memphis. The average increase of those students is 26% the year after they graduate. It has just been sensational. You know, we do lots of training. I know you do, Ricky, and Gwendolyn and myself, but this program is one that you see these participants grow so much in the 7 months. And even my star student, Ricky, what was it, 09?
Yes, I think it was, 2009, yes.
But even think about the other people in the class that year and how much they grew. And I think probably the most important thing is when you talk to them a year, 2 years, 3 years after they've graduated, and they say, I did my plan. In fact, I got my plan done in a year and a half. It didn't take 3 years. But these plans that these participants make are a 3-year plan of what they want out of their business. And these are established businesses. These aren't the startup who has dreams. This is that business that's been open 5 years. And they've had a few hard knocks, but they know with the right education, with the right plan, they can achieve more, just like you did with your business.
Absolutely. I think it was said at some point during the program that this is similar to a really compressed MBA like on steroids.
You got it. Well, its nickname is the Streetwise MBA program by Enterprise out of Boston. And it truly has a lot of the same topics you'd get in an MBA, but it's truly targeted for that small business owner. You know, there's certain things in an MBA program you don't need as a business owner, but there's some that you need extra time on. And that's why we really drill down in human resources, marketing, leadership, goal setting, financial literacy, that part of the course that everybody looks forward to and just groans.
Well, I tell you, you are, and I'm a Dale Carnegie, former Dale Carnegie instructor, and if it's not true, I don't say it, but you are an amazing instructor, and I have come back, thanks to you for inviting me, as a panelist. Correct. And I see that level of energy just continues to go throughout all of the different classes that you teach. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to pause just a moment, and I'll do this throughout the show because I think it's very important for people to be able to get in contact with you. Steve can be reached at 731-426-2952. And he can also be reached by email at Steve, that's S-T-E, V as in Victor E, at clearvision, that's singular, Steve at clearvision.us.com. Once again, the phone number, 731-426-2952. Now, let's talk a little bit more about you. Really invest so much time in getting victories through other people and just seeing the excitement in their eyes and seeing their top line grow and their bottom line grow to rid a lot of the problems that they may have had. With all of these successes that they are having, and I'm going to say we are having, what's the most rewarding for you?
Oh, it's just to see them grow. You know what, I go back, probably one of my biggest victories ever was a gentleman who had a Napa store. And it was a cash flow issue that he never really got through Christmas because it's a slow time for the auto parts industry. When you're thinking Christmas gifts, you don't want a carburetor. So needless to say, we put a plan in place. And we really kept his stock levels very tight. We helped him those holiday times by holding back purchases. Not only did he have a positive cash flow through fourth quarter, but he was able to take his family on a vacation for spring break, the first time they'd been able to do that. You know, and he'd been in business 10, 15 years. Same thing, you know, and I'm going to give you another retail, even though retail's been a very small segment. Same thing with another gentleman. It's just planning where the cash is going so that you can enjoy life, because business owners usually don't have the ability to spend that time with their family and to balance their time to be able to enjoy it. And they're working hard because they're afraid of the cash flow.
Yeah. One of the things, too, that I can say that we have been the beneficiaries of is going to your boot camps, if you will, the ongoing sessions.
Correct.
For business owners. For the folks who are out there, it's important for them to know and to hear that regardless of how much experience they have, it's always good to have someone to keep them monitored and checked and do the checks and balances for them.
Absolutely. You know, and Ricky, you do the same. And I just like you come to my group, I go to another one's group, and it's one of those things. We need to be constantly reminded and understanding the fundamentals. You know, it's like a good football coach is talking about blocking and tackling, and sometimes those players think, I'm sick of it. But when it gets down to the game, if you're not blocking and tackling, and in business that's the marketing, it's the cash management, it's taking care of your employees. If you're not doing those things well, you can't have that true success.
Absolutely.
And these business owners deserve it. And you know what? I've been my own business owner now for 7 years, and it can get lonely at times. And you really need that mentor, that friend, that coach to hold you accountable to get the results you need, because it's easy to go on a tangent or get distracted with the needs in the business. You need that person to keep you focused on growing the business.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're talking with Steve Pitcairn of Clear Vision. He's a business coach and advisor, consultant, and trainer. And he can be reached by phone at 731-426-2952, and he can be reached by email at steve@clearvision.us.com. Steve, will you just mention some other types of businesses, because you've touched on just a couple, but over the past 6 years, you've just all kinds of businesses, so people can get an idea.
I know, and I almost regretted saying retail examples, because I've dealt with businesses in 32 different industries. Dental and can't even say that right now. Dental and medical practices are one that have so many opportunities for growth. And a lot of that is the basics. Are we rebooking people when it's appropriate? Are we getting children in for a well check? Are we getting that person in for their annual physical? Because wellness is as important as just the actual treatment of illness. Contractors, a lot of, whether it's electrical, low voltage, you name it, a lot of contractors looking for ways to be more cost effective. Manufacturers, really working with them on keeping their costs and pricing their products correctly. It's been across the board. I almost laugh about it. I've got a lawyer, a chiropractor, you name it, I think I've done it. And it's exciting because what you and I take for granted in coaching, this may be revolutionary in this other industry. And it's amazing where you get somebody who's a specialist in one industry, they get stale. But if I go to a contractor and I say, well, you know what, I heard this at a medical practice, would that work for you? That works. Yeah, we all win. Yeah, so I think the sharing of ideas, and again, the reason coaching wins is because of the accountability. Yes, there's training. Yes, there's brainstorming about how that owner's going to apply it in their business. But knowing that someone's going to come back in a week or two and say, so Steve, how did that work out? Or Ricky, did you do it? What did you feel about it? And what do we need to do different to make it successful? Absolutely. That's the root of coaching, and that's what you do well, and hopefully well myself.
Absolutely. We call it in the coaching business consuming the elephant. How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. And it is a process. Just thinking and speaking in terms of some of the things that you've experienced in the past, what are some of the business trends you are beginning to see?
I see a lot of nervousness right now with the government. We're